My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Hello, my friend. Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of the Curious Universe podcast. Today, I want to talk about something that, we can go so many different places with it. So let's just explore, okay? I want to talk about reacting and when you're in reaction to something. So, earlier on this, actually last month, I did a gaslight watch party. So a bunch of us got on Zoom. We watched a movie called Gaslight. It is about gaslighting, which is kind of like a brainwashing technique. I'm not going to probably go too much into that today. We'll see. But something that was really present for me during that movie was reaction and how much power we give over to others when we react. And how much power we give up when we go into reaction, and how in that reaction, we often can destroy the things that maybe we didn't want to destroy. So let's explore reaction in a different way and some different possibilities with it. So, I love the tools of access consciousness. I always talk about it. I have links in the description just so that you can explore more of access consciousness if you'd like. And I'm a certified access consciousness facilitator. And one of the things I love about access is that they're often like on the creative edge of consciousness. They're looking at what are the things that we can pull apart so people could have more freedom, where they could access their knowing, their perceiving, their receiving, their being in a greater way. Essentially, accessing your consciousness. Great title, huh? And so what's been the exploration topic recently has been the need of reactionary realities, where we have a need to react, but also where others have a need of us to react, just like these gaslighters. So funny enough, shortly after I do this gaslight watch party, one of my favorite gaslighters, my ex-husband, started to strategically make moves to create reactions out of me. Now, what's the agenda of these reactions? Often people are looking to get you to react so that they can control you, so that they can manipulate you, or they can distract you while they're up to something over here, right? Every time that you're in reaction, you are being distracted from what you're aware of. So one thing that you can do in those moments of either you've already gone into reaction, you're triggered, you're in reaction, or you feel the tug, like you feel this need, like I should be reacting right now. You can ask, what am I aware of? Starting to ask questions, it like interrupts the reaction cycle, and you will start to get to a place with some of the questions we'll look at today, but you'll start to get to a place where you're then taking action, which is an empowered place. To be taking action is when you are empowered to choose, and choose from awareness. When you're in reaction, who has power over you? Yeah, exactly. And you could also look at, do you do this with others? Do you create reactions in them to have control over them? I know, and some females might hate me for saying this, but a lot of women use tears to get reactions out of men or anyone, not even just men, like anyone, right? Some people use anger to get a reaction. It doesn't have to be this big diabolical gaslighting thing. It could just be simply, they're not doing what I want them to do. Okay, I know if I cry, then my need of their reaction is for them to give me what I want. If I cry, if I get angry, if I fill in the blank. Now, there are times where you can absolutely use this to your advantage to create something greater. We're not here to go into judgment or is it right or is it wrong to use reactions to my advantage. Listen, if you're following the lightness of consciousness and what you want to create, then don't even worry about it because you're creating more. But what I want to look at today with you is, where are you allowing others to control you, or where are you destroying your life based on someone else's need of your reaction, and you actually adopt it and you start to need the reaction in yourself? For example, do you have like a need to have a contracted universe around money? If you do, what would happen is whenever your universe would get really spacious and light about money, you would create something, even if it appeared to be an external thing, like, oh my God, my car broke down. It wasn't my fault. I didn't break my car. You create your reality to support that so that you can have a financial contraction in your universe. When you have that need of a reactionary reality to being contracted around money. So anytime you go into expansion about money, the reaction activates and then you go into contraction. You following me? I say a lot of people that have this like massive roller coaster with their financials, and you might want to ask, do I have a need here? A need of reactionary reality that I haven't acknowledged. Some people do this with relationships. They have a need of drama. Some people don't even know if the relationship is well, if they're not having something to overcome with their partner, if they're not having a fight to keep it fiery or whatever, I've always heard people talk about makeup sex, and I never understood it because I never wanted to have sex with someone that I was making up with. But some people have that need, and that actually makes them feel closer to their partner. Well, what if something else was totally possible if you weren't functioning from that need of reactionary reality? And in that case, it doesn't necessarily make your partner the controlling factor, although they might be, but the need is the controlling factor. The need of drama and trauma, the need of stress with money, the need, like, look at even the chemical releases in the body, right? You get so used to adrenaline running, you can become addicted to that chemical release in your body. So when you aren't functioning from adrenaline, you don't even know how to be. So you create something to activate the reaction of adrenaline in your body so that you can feel alive. Some people do this with kind of like extreme sports, right? So it's like bungee jumping or other things. Not every instance of bungee jumping plays into this factor, but when you know people that are constantly creating this adrenaline overload in their body, what need of reactionary reality do they have there? Or perhaps you have there. And what if you're willing to let that go so that you can create something greater, more peaceful, more creative in your life? So reaction starts. You go to that question, right? You're going to start using questions. And we always use questions on this show. Questions will allow you to access what you know, will allow you to access more of who you be, and will allow you to receive information and perceive possibility. Question. Curious questions are a magical tool that we can all use. And it's so simple and it's so easy. And you can do it anywhere you are, right? So let's say you're in the grocery line and you're kind of in a rush and you have this like reaction of anger showing up and you want to yell at everyone to like move along. Well, in that moment, when you have gone into that need of reaction, you cannot be taking action. When you are in a need of a reactionary reality, you are not capable of taking action. You're only capable of reacting. So that might be the person like moaning or stomping their feet or actually saying rude, unkind things or jumping, cutting line and being aggressive, right? And action would be to ask a question, which is an energetic action. So what else is possible here? I wonder if this line could speed up. I wonder if, not from control, but actually curious, like, hey, universe, what would it take for me to get to wherever I need to be on time? Or what would it take to have some patience here with everything that's going on? What kindness can I be right now, even if I don't feel like it? If you can notice energy, if you've been playing with energy, or maybe you're totally brand new, what's starting to occur is just by me even asking those questions in that scenario, new possibilities are showing up. Maybe suddenly a whole new line is going to open up and they're going to, hey, do you want to come to the front of the line? Or the person in front of you with like 10,000 items is going to be like, oh, I forgot something. Can you go ahead and I'll run and go get it? You're opening up all these possibilities by that one action of asking a question. But if you're in the reaction, then how many possibilities are you cutting off and destroying, might I say? So now let's look at, so this is where you're controlling yourself and you're limiting yourself and destroying yourself with your own need of reactionary realities. Let's look a little bit further, if you will, with me into when people are using that against you. It's some of us have literally been trained like a dog, right? So we know like dogs, they're trained to behave, they're trained to take certain commands, right? And so they will react and then they either get a reward or they avoid a punishment. It's kind of how it works, depending on how you trained your dog. So some of us, a lot of us have actually been trained to react appropriately. So let's say you have an abusive parent or abusive partner or someone that is really looking to, like I was saying, distract you or create anxiety and stress in your world, just sometimes literally because it's fun for them. Rather than trying, so a reaction would be to like go in and try and, oh my God, I need to control the situation. They did this, so then I'm going to run over here. But oh my God, they did this, so then I'm going to run over here. Oh, they did this, I'm going to run over here. And you're running around like and you feel crazy making, like trying to like stop. It's as if there's a huge dam and there's little leaks coming and you're trying to like plug every leak with your finger, but you can't get there, right? That is that reactionary state that you put yourself in. And I know you want to say they put you in it. And yes, they did. They had a hand in it. But you can be empowered, which means that you can choose something different, which means that no one can put you in anything unless you allow them to. Now, without the tools, this can be really hard. I completely get it. It was a massive challenge for me. And sometimes it still is. And then I have to remind myself, oh, wait. I have choice here. I have questions here. I have awareness here. Okay, so then rather than crazy making and chasing after all of the, doing all the reactions or trying to avoid the reactions or trying to go here or run away, an empowered thing to do would be to ask a question. Now, I would recommend like taking a moment, like maybe closing your eyes, breathing with your body, like whatever kind of works for you. Just even asking to like relax for a second. And then one of the very first questions you could try, and this might be super crazy question to you for your mind, is actually going, what is this? Now, you think that you already know what it is. You have all these presumptive realities about it's this, and they're doing this, and they're doing this, and they're doing this. Because if you've been trained, you know that you're supposed to react this way, and you're supposed to react this way, and you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this. And if you could just be 10 steps faster than them, then you can stop them before they put a crack and a hole in the dam and leak the water out. Again, that is actually, in that scenario, they have all the control. They have all the control on you, your very being. Okay. What is this? Activates a space of awareness that's going to give you a bigger picture of what's going on, not just the micro of, oh my God, there's a hole in the dam, there's water leaking, or they talk to this person, and then here's all my presumptive realities of what that means, or what's going to happen now because of this conversation that they had, this lie that they told about you. You go, what is this? And actually perceive that energy. Yeah. Expand out and look at it. What is this? And it might be, oh, control. Oh, just abuse. Oh, distraction. You're going to get more information. Okay. And be with that. And you can ask even a couple times, what is this? What is this really? If I didn't presume I already knew what this was, then I can have more information. If I'm like, I know exactly what they're up to. Okay. And you might, but you might only have like 85%, and you're missing some of the other stuff. If you have the full picture, now who has the control? So what is this? And then you can ask just, what do I do with this? Not how do I react appropriately? How do I avoid punishment? Or how do I get the reward here? What do I do with this? What do I do with this? Hey, universe, consciousness, can you help me? What do I do with this? Can I change this? If so, how do I change this? Which is, now you're getting to that action piece. How do I change this? Oh, you know what? Make a phone call to that person and just be really vulnerable. Or completely ignore it and give it no attention, which will inevitably drive him crazy. What is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how do I change it? Now you're in an action position. You're empowered, and you are starting to have a greater awareness of the big picture that allows you to have more choices and more possibilities. When you're in the reactionary state and you feel, and I get it, you might have this like deep feeling of a need to react. And all this fear that if you don't react and if you don't do the right reaction, then presumptive realities here, then I'm going to get punished worse, then this person's going to hate me, then my kids are going to get taken away, then all these things, right? That, again, that need is an entrainment that you probably adopted. You were probably programmed to believe is true. But how powerful would you feel if you were the one taking the actions that was creating your life, regardless of what anyone demanded of you, regardless of their needs of your reaction? And when you don't react, when you do not fulfill their needs of reactionary realities, just observe what happens. Observe how quickly I want to say the tables turn. Now, you might not have any extreme situations in your life like this, and that is amazing. But you can see where there might be places in your life that you go to reaction rather than action. And that need of reaction kind of runs your life. So some of us need to people please. We feel like, and it's an invention. We don't actually need to people please, but we feel like we need to people please. Or we feel like we need validation, or we need people to see us in a certain way, or our business needs a certain image, or like all these needs, right? So we create these needs and we connect so many emotions to them, like strong emotions and feelings and thoughts to them. And we create this big thing that is a complete invention. Because you don't need validation. Your body's not going to fall down and drop dead if you didn't get validation. You don't need to please people. Now you can be aware, oh, if I chose this, it would really please this person. And that's really light, because it's going to expand something, I don't know what, in my universe. So, hey, why not? That's an empowered place to be, to choose, not to react, but to choose. And you can be aware of everyone else's need of reactionary realities. Don't buy into it as real either. And then you can use that to create greater possibilities for all. So if you're aware of someone else has a need for validation and you can deliver that for them and it's going to create more, then you could. But that's from action. That's from choice, not from, oh my God, they need me to validate them right now. My reaction is to validate them. See the difference? It's a really different way to live, because from, infancy, we are entrained to react rather than to take action. What if taking action is actually the empowered place that creates the life, the reality, and the world that you would like to see? You didn't have to react to inflation. You didn't have to react to finances. You didn't have to react to your mother or your mother-in-law. You didn't have to react to your kids. You could always be in your awareness, in question, and from there, take the actions that will create more for you and all. Woo! Thank you so much for exploring this topic with me. It's one of those really massive topics that can go into so many different areas of your life. So explore it, get curious, look at what showed up for you when you listen to this. Maybe you listen to this again and see if new things pop up. You can make a list. I love lists. Like, write down some of these needs of reactions that you have of others. I want them to react this way. I want them to react this way, or that you have of yourself, or that you are aware others have of you. And start to shift yourself into an empowered place, a place where you can be really kind and caring and loving for yourself. And in that, actually have more capacity to be kind, caring, and loving to others. I'm really liking this podcast more and more. I hope you are too. If you are, please feel free to share this. Truly, it creates a lot for me as I'm doing these every week and putting a lot of energy and attention into making this podcast for you. So I appreciate all your support, appreciate your comments, and the amazing conversations I've had with people that have been so grateful for this podcast. So know that I'm grateful for you too. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?